What is up, everyone? Welcome to the BMX News channel. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys all the things you really need to know about spline drive cranks. Spline drive crank systems are they've been out for a little while, but not too many people use them. They're kind of regarded as new technology, I guess. But one of the more things that you'll notice about spline drive that's different from most crank systems is this bolt right here that I have in my hand. This bolt, this is a drive bolt that usually goes inside of a sprocket into the crank arm. But on spline drive systems, if you guys can see, it's kind of hard. I know I got an all black bike here. It's kind of hard to see, but this bolt usually will go right inside the sprocket, and that's where it gets its drive from. But spline drive, hence the name spline drive, the sprocket gets its drive from teeth on the bottom. So it actually, just like the crank arm, how the crank arm goes onto the teeth on the 48 spline spindle, the sprocket does the same thing. So yeah, those are some important things you guys need to know about spline drive. Also, the most important thing you guys need when you have this wedge style, this newer wedge style crank system. What I mean by wedge style is it doesn't have a pinch bolt. All it has is just, I think this is, what is it, washer, whatever, and a bolt. And this is considered a wedge style. It doesn't have a pinch bolt right here. And the most important thing you guys need to service these types of cranks are a crank puller. This is going to be your best friend right here. This literally will help you out of any pickle. This really, yeah. I couldn't get these cranks off for anything, and called my bike shop. He's like, just pick up one of these things. It just costs like 10 bucks. This is a Park Tool one. It's a $10 crank puller. It works on both sizes. It has these two pieces that you can pull off, and goes to fit a couple different size of crank systems. And so yeah, but it actually works really nice. But what you do to get them off, I'm going to go ahead and you screw this thing into the end. I'm going to go ahead and take these off for you using this, show you guys how you do. So what you do is you screw the crank puller into the end, and then you take the inside, and first you want to make sure the first one is fully tightened all the way. So you get that one seated as far in there as you can, so it doesn't, you don't want to strip this out. Now these threads on the inside of these crank arms, they're pretty they are pretty tight. So see, this one was loose, it's already going to come off. So yeah, that's what you want to do. See, the crank puller, what it does is it just pulls on the spindle, or it pushes on the spindle and pulls the crank arm off, hence crank puller. So that is one really important thing you guys need to go check out if you're really searching up cranks. If you guys have a pinch bolt on yours, like the traditional 3-piece that's not a wedge style with pinch bolt right here, you don't really need a crank puller. And at the same time, I don't even think they have threads for a crank puller, because the second you undo that pinch bolt, they usually just come right off. So yeah, let's get to it right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take I have to take this other side out because of the sprocket. Oh yeah, another thing. Okay, if you guys really want to know about spline drive, here is what sucks. Since the sprocket is pressed onto the spindle, it is not easily serviced. It is pressed on there, and it is pressed on there hard. I mean, I have hammered this thing, and it's not very easy to get these off. One thing you guys really need to know, say if you guys ride street a lot and you're like a street rider, or you bash your cranks a lot, or you go through sprockets, you know, pretty regularly, spline drive is probably not something you want to invest in. I mean, it looks nice and it's clean, and if you want to spend the time in it, I mean, that's fine, but it would be a lot easier to service, and it would be a lot better on you if you guys just went with the traditional 3-piece with a traditional 3-piece without spline drive, non-spline drive with the regular bolt. See, if you notice, the back side of this is totally smooth, but on a regular style, there's a boss that's welded in here where the bolt goes in through the sprocket, but you don't have that on spline drive. So technically, spline drive is it's stronger, but it's a lot harder to service. Just like you have to get the sprocket pressed on, which I actually pressed mine on. You'll find out when you buy them real quick, if you didn't know this, when you go to put them on, it's not going to be easy. You go to put the sprocket on and it doesn't just slide on. It has to be pressed on. So I actually used the bolt because these premiums came with 2 bolts. So I don't know if one of them I think was like a harder, stiffer bolt, and then the other one was a hollowed out one. But yeah, I just used the bolt and the crank arm, and I just pressed it on as far as I could, and it actually worked, but I cannot get it back off because, like I said, this is solid steel. It's not coming back off. So I'm going to get this other side out, pull the spindle, and I'll show you guys how this works. Now, what I want to do is pull the spindle out. Now, see how easy this was for me to pull this spindle out? The reason why it was so easy for me to pull this spindle out is whenever I went to go install this, now we're going to talk about installing this. Now, whenever I bought this brand new and I went to go install this, it came with this anti-seize grease right here. Now, this is where a lot of people mess up. It is very important that when you install new parts, you put grease on them with new parts. This is how, you know, like a lot of people buy really good parts and they last on their bike for a long time. Say these cranks, these are very, very good cranks. These are the premium 1948 spline drive cranks with, they come with the 25 tooth solid steel sprocket, but these are blast proof. I swear these things are so strong. I never have to mess with them. I never have to tighten them. I mean, they've lasted me forever, and they're like the nicest cranks I've ever had ever. But thing is they've been on my bike forever, and if I didn't put this grease on them, see, I have like any one of these greases will work. White lithium, anti-seize lubricant, or the ones that come with them. See, this is the grease that actually came with these cranks. But if you do that, you'll be able to slide the spindle right in and out as easy as I did. See, I can slide it right in. See, a lot of people will probably notice or ask, maybe this is the wrong spindle for the bearing size. No, this is the right spindle, the right bearings for the right spindle. Same 19 millimeter bearings with 19 millimeter spline, but it slides in and out super easy. That's because of the grease. Now, if you don't put the grease in there, first time you go to service them after a few months, whenever something happens, you got to service them, you're not going to get them off very easy, and it's going to be a pain. So, yeah. And another thing I want to show you guys, look at this right here. Spline drive. This is what kind of sucks. Alright. This is the spindle. And the sprocket is on there, and it is stuck. I can't get it off. I've tried and tried and tried and tried. I can't get that thing off because it is actually pressed on there. A lot of people don't realize is the sprocket, it doesn't just slide right on easy. It's actually pressed on because it has to be pressed on. If it wasn't pressed on and it just slid right on real easy, it would wallow itself out and then wouldn't really be able to work because this little teeth in here has to take a lot of force from you being able to crank on it and everything, because to take place of this bolt, these teeth have to do a lot of work. So it is pressed on. That's why if you see aluminum, if you have aluminum spline drive sprockets, they have a collet, or not, I always want to say that word collet, but they have a like a an insert on the inside that is a steel insert in the aluminum, because the aluminum you can't press it on because it'll deform and it's not going to work right. So yeah, if you are interested in getting spline drive cranks, just you know, honestly, to tell you the truth, I think the only reason why you get spline drive is because you don't want to see a drive bolt. You just want to have that really clean look right here where you don't have a drive bolt. That's pretty much, I mean, the only benefit that I see from these. Other than that, they're really strong. I mean, that and them being really strong, because if you look at these, there's really only like 4 welds. I only see like 4 welds. No, there's like 1, yeah, 4 welds per arm. There's like barely any. But yeah, like I said, if you have a brand new set of these spline drives, what you want to do is you want to pull them out of the box. You want to get your grease, take your grease, put it all over the spindle right here. First off, what you have is you have these washers, right? And they usually come with a set of cranks. Like if you buy a set of cranks, they'll come with smaller ones. And then if you buy a bearing set, the bearing set will come with, like, this is a Black Label bearing set, and it came with this Black Label cap. Now you have a shorter cap and a taller cap. See, you have a shorter cap and a taller cap. The shorter cap goes on the inside of the sprocket. Go ahead and slide it right on in here. See, I have a ton of these things down here. You want to find now in your kit of bearings, or whenever you get your cranks, you're gonna get a bunch of these plus little washers. And what you want to do is you want to basically get the amount of space correct, so then whenever you install these right here, your gap in between is the same on either side. And how you can dial that in is using the different size washers right here to dial that in on either side. So my spindle's kind of favored to one side, and I don't really like that, but I haven't had a problem with it so far. So what you guys want to do is make sure that it's as centered as possible. Stick your sprocket on, okay? You want to take the spline drive sprocket, you want to stick it on there, and then take your crank arm, right? Stick it on, take one of the bolts and put it in. Now there's other more genius ways you can press this on, but this is what I did to press it on and use it, and I've been using it for the past year or so. I mean, I'm confident that it's good enough as long as you guys don't torque down on it hard enough to snap these bolts. I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Right, and it's going to take some force if you're like trying to press this sprocket on. It's going to take some force to get it and press it on. Press the sprocket on a little bit more. Sweet, this sprocket. Yep, I pushed it on a little bit more. Awesome. So that's what you do. Now, usually spline drive, actually all spline drive is 48 spline. So you're putting the other one on, you want to make sure that they're the same. You can get them kind of off to one way or the other. You just take this and you want to take your taller washer and put it on the opposite side, and take some more grease, put it on the end, put it on the inside of here. See, I got a lot of grease on here, so I'm not doing it again. And you want to make sure these are exactly opposite. Now what I do is I just look straight down at it, and I can usually tell right there. All right, awesome. So now I want to stick the other bolt in. I want to crank down on it. And these spline drive crank systems are fairly easy. The only problem is just the sprocket. The sprocket's really the only problem for service. Other than that, I mean, it's really nice. I like these spline drives. I'm actually getting ready to buy another set of them because I like the clean look with no drive bolt right there. So I'm going to buy another set of them, which is going to be pretty cool. There you guys have it. I actually just put these together. That was really easy. I'm actually really surprised. I just put the wrench, or I put the Allen wrench right in here and tightened down, and I was able to push my sprocket on farther than it's been all year, and I'm so happy about it because now, while I showed you this, I just centered my spindle in there, and I am so happy about that. So yeah, just to let you guys know, if you get spline drive, the premium versions, it's actually really easy to put the sprocket on with the bolt and the crank arm. So yeah, that's really awesome. Now after you guys do that and you have it installed, you just take a chain. Oh, I gotta do it the right way. Take your chain, put your chain on, put your chain on your bike, and then tighten your wheel, and there you go. That's it. it's on, ready to go, ready to shred. So yeah, there you guys go. And after you put them on, make sure you guys get pedals. Put your pedals on, put them on the right way. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button. If you guys have any extra questions, if I didn't cover anything or I made something really hard to understand, just go down in that comment section, let us know, ask us any question. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week.